What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend, watching some spooky movies and whatnot. And before I hop into this video, I just want to apologize for my lack of uploads lately. I believe in about the last month and a half, there was 2 times that I took 2 weeks off without videos. I normally try to put them out every Sunday at noon. And I've been doing this channel for about 6 years, and I feel there's only been maybe 3 times that I missed uploads for multiple weeks at a time. I try to always be consistent at this channel. That's probably the best advice I could give anybody who's into making videos, starting out a YouTube channel or whatnot. Be consistent. But point is, for one, I should have mentioned something on the community tabs that I was taking a bit of a break. I didn't really mean to take much of a break, but as a lot of you guys know, I've mentioned a million times on my channel that I work outside. I work in a lumberyard, and this has been one of the hottest summers in Michigan in years. It's been almost 100 degrees at least 5 days, 4 or 5 days of the week. We might get like 1 or 2 days with some shade, and we are actually like in the top 5 of humidity here in Michigan because of all the lakes that surround us. So it could be quite the bitch. That, along with me just getting back into this new training and diet regimen, actually the same one I used to follow, but I'm just kind of intensifying it because I have a steel cage match August 30th for Super Shogun Wrestling Samurai Slam, their biggest show of the year, against JJ Hughes. Loser leaves town. So, side note, if you guys want to come check out that show, that would be pretty rad. It's gonna be epic. But the point is, I was just a little bit burnt out, needed a bit of a break, and I had plans for a different video today. It was going to be me ranking all the Creep Show segments, but the way I want to edit it, it would have been a lot of work, and I'm so tired, guys. I just woke up at like 2 p.m. today. But anyways, all that rambling on, I figured, I wasn't even going to make a video at that point, but I thought, I just watched Happy Gilmore 2 the other night, so why not talk about that? I don't normally review newer movies. I think I'm just not very good at reviews, so this is going to be me more or less giving my thoughts. I'm kind of halfway I'm on the fence when it comes to these remakes or sequels that come 30, 40 years later. I liked all the new Jurassic World movies. Beetlejuice grew on me over time. But for the most part, I think a lot of times they make these remakes or sequels so many years later, it's more of a cash grab, beating a dead horse. So I'm always a bit iffy with these movies, but I hated the news of when Happy Gilmore was being announced. But in more recency, the last 3 weeks or so, I've been a little optimistic, saying, why do I got to be such a hater on this movie? I don't have to dissect everything. Let me just watch it and see if it's good and see if I enjoy it. So, anyways, I watched it Friday night. I'm going to try not to do any spoilers at first. I'll probably get into a little bit afterwards, but I'll let you guys know. So, I rewatched Happy Gilmore Friday night, the original. I will admit, I love Happy Gilmore, but it wasn't one that I watched a lot growing up. I was always more of a Billy Madison kind of guy. Granted, I love all Adam Sandler movies. I am the demographic of Adam Sandler movies. And we know that in the recent years, he's had quite a bit of stinkers. So, I just tried to keep an open mind with it. Happy Gilmore 1 is a masterpiece. I was laughing my ass off. So, when it came time to put on part 2, like I said, I was a bit iffy. So I'll give you guys the plot about the movie. It's pretty much years later. Adam Sandler married his wife. What was her name? The reporter. I'm going to get a lot of these names wrong because I suck at reviews. But he's with his new wife, and he continues on the golf tour. And he wins 5 more tours, into the early 2000s. I think all the way up to 2010. And a tragic incident ends up happening, and he quits golfing for good, in 2010. So by the time we come forward to Happy Gilmore, he hasn't golfed in 15 years. And he has 4 sons and a daughter he's taking care of on his own. Spoiler, I just blew something. But he becomes a really bad alcoholic, and everything in his life's falling apart. And his daughter ends up, he finds out that she's got this extra skills as a dancer. Like a ballet dancer or whatever. Her instructor ends up telling him, she's really good. The best thing for her is to go to this school in Paris. But he doesn't have the money for it. But he loves his kids so much he wants to try to find a way to get this money. And that is pretty much the plot of the movie, where he resists to get back into golf at first, but at the end of the day, chooses to try to get back into it and win the big championship and get the money to send his daughter off to the school in Paris. So a decent plot on one hand, but the other side, like, it kind of feels thrown together. I think that's like a big issue with a lot of these Adam Sandler movies that come out later. That's like, on one hand, you can look at the plot and what's going on and say, oh, this was just thrown together for the sake of being thrown together. But if you look at a lot of his older movies, it's kind of the same way. They don't make the most sense, but I think it's more under a microscope, because that's what a lot of other movies do when they come back with a sequel so many decades later. They just come up with a plot for the sake of the plot to have it happen. Where, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it should be more justified in a Happy Madison movie, but it's still kind of looked at in the negative way, at least to me, if that makes sense. Hopefully that made sense. So, yeah, we get going into his journey to try to get back into golfing, and I seen someone say online it was pretty much like a slapstick comedy version of Rocky Balboa, which that's kind of a really funny way to describe it, but makes a lot of sense. You know, he's just trying to get everything back, his skills. Him dealing with his alcoholism and other tragedies are kind of holding him back from getting to the place he wants to be. Like, he can't even get past the wall, the mental wall, to get to where he wants to be, to get back into the mathematics of it, the physics of golf. So, pretty much, there is a bit of drama in there with him dealing with alcoholism, but this movie never stops with the jokes. Now, on some hand, there is some, like, Grown Ups 1, Grown Ups 2 style jokes that just seem forced, that aren't the best, but there are a lot of laughs nonstop, like you would expect. I wish the comedy would have been driven more towards maybe, like, an older age range, though there are some jokes that are. I think it should have played more towards its audience. But, yeah, I think if you just put all that to the side and you're ready to just enjoy a Adam Sandler movie, you're going to get what you want. I heard some people complain about all the cameos in the movie. I find that funny. There was a lot of funny cameos and everything. Obviously, all his old friends are in here. Steve Buscemi is like this homeless guy when they moved to the Bad Neighbor, and this small cameo he has a couple times had me belly laughing. The Nick Swartzen cameo. You know, tons of famous people in here. Ben Stiller makes a return. I forgot how funny Ben Stiller is as a character actor. Granted, it's kind of the same character every time. It's just so stupid, man. It's so funny. But there was an ongoing joke that was kind of funny but kind of stupid, where, like, everything he would have, he would open, and it was like a flask of drink liquor and everything. So that was pretty good there. He runs into this deal with this dude who's starting this new golf league. It's kind of like the slap fight of golf. He wants it to be more exciting with all this stuff in there, and I don't necessarily remember why he didn't want to join off the top of my head. I know him and the other golfers, there's a lot of cameos from, like, pro golfers. They're against it because it's kind of taken away from the sport of golf, and they want to keep it, like, pure. So this kind of turns into a double storyline in a way, where he's trying to get the money for his daughter, but he's also trying to win this tournament, this 5-on-5 tournament, to kind of keep the prestige to golf. That's what ends up happening. There's, like, the top 5 finishers of the golf league, whatever you call it, are going to face the top 5 guys that this villain has for his like extreme golf league and everything. And this villain is pretty unlikable. He doesn't, like, stand out too much, but the main villain, he is kind of an asshole. And this is a spoiler right here. I'm going to talk about Shooter McGavin. That he might be my favorite part of this entire movie. He gets put into a mental institution the whole time Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore's out doing this, and they show him in the mental institution. He ends up getting taken out by this guy that runs the Extreme Golf League, and he's trying to recruit him onto his team, but Shooter's having none of it, and he takes off and ends up meeting back up with Happy Gilmore. They have a pretty fun little fight scene, and he ends up being on Happy Gilmore's side. I thought Shooter was going to totally be against him, but it's kind of fun to see them paired up as a team. And Shooter McGavin, I don't know how old the actor is in this movie. He looks like he's getting up there in age, but he was moving around so good. And it's so funny in this movie. The scene where he's just laughing his ass off in the mental institution reading a book of The Shining. you'll just have to see it to know what I'm talking about. But he was probably the highlight of the movie for me. I thought this movie, though, good music, shot well, directed by Kyle Newachik, who is known for playing Carl and directing all the episodes of Workaholics. So I was rooting for this movie on another level because I'm a big fan of his, which I think directorially wise, he did a really good job. Just another critique for me. I think this movie's about a half hour too long. You know, Happy ends up hitting many bumps in the road to try to get to where he needs to be, but I thought this could have been shortened up. Oh, and also, too many flashback scenes. Oh, all these flashbacks to part one. I think I get what they were trying to do. Like, if you weren't familiar with the movie, but I think anybody watching Happy Gilmore 2 is familiar with it. Let alone, like, for people streaming. Happy Gilmore 1 was available streaming on Netflix, so I would imagine a lot of people did the double feature as well. But maybe a half hour too long. The final act was a bit ridiculous when they were on this, like, course for the Extreme Golf League. I get what they were trying to do. It was more according to, like, more modern Happy Madison things, but I thought it was too much CGI, too over the top with these courses and everything. Granted, it didn't really bother me too much. It's just a small critique. It is what it is. I liked it being based in reality a little more in the original, but, you know, but overall, I've rambled on enough. I just want to give my thoughts on this film. I'm kind of on the fence. Now, did I love it? No. Did I hate it? No. Just the middle of the ground. Did I think this movie needed to be made? Not really. But at the same time, like I said, trying to be open-minded about these films, like, I didn't hate it. I could watch it again. I think it's kind of, if you want that nostalgia and you're looking for a movie just to sit back and laugh and enjoy, you know, Happy Gilmore 2 will do it. Would I have liked it to maybe take a different direction at some point? Sure. But I think the amount of actors they have in this, the amount of cameos, the one-liners, the physical comedy, the jokes, like, I believe all of that carries this movie overall into being a good comedy. And I think the main thing that I will lean towards liking this movie a little more is, though I'm giving it all these critiques, it is a funny comedy movie. They just don't make comedy movies like this anymore. And it's kind of fun to see movies coming back like that. Like, they don't make Adam Sandler kind of comedy, you know, the SNL comedies, Seth Rogen comedies. Like, those days are gone. Like, you know, how often do you see funny movies even come out anymore? Which kind of sucks. But I thought a lot of things in the movie were forced and a lot of things were unneeded. And the third act was kind of stupid. But overall, if you want that nostalgia, you want to see Happy Gilmore drill the ball again and have a lot of surprise cameos that'll have you laughing and a lot of funny jokes, I think this one was good. You know, it was definitely a lot better than a lot of other Happy Madison movies that have come out in the last 5 to 10 years, but I'll put this one just the middle of the road. I think what's important to remember, I'll finish this off by saying, like, I think we need to not be so pretentious about remakes or sequels when it comes to comedy movies, because I think what matters the most is if you laugh and you leave the movie happy with what you've seen. So with that being said, I liked Happy Gilmore 2. I'm probably leaving a lot out that I would like to mention, but yeah, I suggest checking it out, guys. I know this might be controversial how I kind of took this, because I know not everyone's going to love it, but let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie. I had fun with it. I'm not mad about it. But anyways, with that being said, once again, I apologize for the lack of the videos. I'm going to pick it back up. You know, I think once I get into this, more into this diet and workout routine, you know, I'll be having a little more energy on top of everything. I'm going to be ranking the Creepshow stories next weekend, finally. And the Sunday after that, I'm actually going to Static Tape Video, going back there for the third time, August 9th. So I'll have my video the next day after that. So some fun stuff coming. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the upcoming videos. Other than that, blood, guts, and gore. I will check you guys next time.